Bo Pribula rolls out, flushed, pressure, throws it away, 2nd down and 10. Mizzou's had a lot of success this season on the ground. Gonna need Bo here through the air big time. Look, he's completed 75% of his passes on the season coming into today. He's thrown for 1,200 passing yards, 12 total touchdowns. He can throw the ball. He's capable. I would say he's probably a better runner. You trust him maybe more with his legs than his arm. But he's someone that's going to win this game, with his arm. And this one today, he's 14 to 22 for 138 passing yards.
We interrupt your regular scheduled programming for this special presentation from Wildcats Radio 1290. Wildcats Nation, are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes throws to the back of the end zone. It's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats.
Let's go.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Fafita out of the shotgun. He'll take the snap, back to throw. Looking left, throwing left. Spivey makes the catch inside the 15. Loses a man at the 10. Still on his feet at the 5. He's in the end zone.
Boom.
Touchdown, Arizona. He spins away. Now they got him trapped again. Rolling to the right. Picks up a nice block. Now open field, downfield. Caught inside the 30-yard line to the 25, down to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Luke Weissong. How did he find an open spot? And Noah Fafita, escaping danger, gets it to him. Touchdown, Arizona, 47 yards. All right, Flores under center now. Tight formation, pitch right, and they may throw out of it. That's Howland, and he's going to be thrown for a loss back inside the 20-yard line. So they try some trickery. The Wildcats don't fall for it. Flores back to throw on first down, near side and over that, picked off, intercepted by Arizona. The Cats will take over at the 45-yard line. Great leaping grab by Javion Cole. That is his
second interception of the season last week for Javion Cole. It is Football Saturday in Arizona, and for the moment, we are remaining dry. Maybe, who knows? Maybe the rumors of heavy rain have been greatly exaggerated. You never know. But, hey, right now it's dry. When we last looked at the radar at the end of the show yesterday, the radar had said that around sometime between 12 and 11 was when we might start to get some of that heavy rain, but I looked a little while ago, and it still looks pretty clear, at least for the early part of the afternoon. We'll kind of see how things transpire as we get into later in the afternoon. But we are in studio today just because we had to take early precautions for the threat of weather, and so we decided to move the events of our program back in here to studio. I am David Kelly. I've got my guys, as always. We've got Glenn Howe, we've got Kelvin Efond here, we've got J.W. Madden on the other side of the glass as well over there, and we've got you for the next 3 hours of this program as we get you set for BYU and Arizona. It is a battle of a 4-1 Wildcat team and a 5-0 team, number 18 in the country for the BYU Cougars. Let's let you know a little bit about what's happening on this show today.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we will have our first look at the game, and that is brought to you, as always, by Window Depot. We'll get you your offensive scouting report. The passing game was on point last week in a big win over the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Your defensive scouting report as well. The turnovers were back in fashion. They'll need to be so again today against a very good BYU offense. We're going to go inside the huddle today. Glenn Howe with who?
Well, we're going to go with Doug Pfaff, man. I mean, he's a guy that kicked one of the most memorable field goals. He was a punter also. Against Oklahoma, he kicked that field goal. And we're going to talk today about, hey, how do you deal with being a D1 kicker? How did you become a D1 kicker? And how important and how stressful is it to be a D1 kicker now? Man, you got
pretty stressful.
It is. I think it is, because you think about our guys struggling. I think he's struggling a little bit. And we just got to, how do you get over that hump? And we're going to talk about that today with Doug.
All right, Captain's Corner. What we got in the Captain's Corner, Mr. Kelvin Efon?
We have none other than the Tucson local product, Brooks Reed. Watched him play in high school versus my brother. My brother played at Sal Point. He was at Sabino. Yeah. And he was a beast back then, And so, can't wait to get him on, talk a little bit defense, and see what he's been up to.
Sabino High School grad, longtime player in the National Football League with the likes of the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. I believe he went to the Super Bowl with the Falcons and finished his career here back home with the Arizona Cardinals. So we'll look forward to that. Can we beat the book today? The book over at Casino del Sol and BetMGM has Arizona as a 2.5-point underdog in today's game. The over-under 47.5. That's just a few of the things we've got coming up for you today on our show.
We moved to a 2.5 dog instead of 1.
2.5 points.
Really?
At the last check. I'll check it again. That was this morning.
We were 1.5.
Yeah, those lines move. So we'll check it again here and see if it's moved off that 2.5-point number that it had there this morning. All right, let's dive in to BYU and Arizona.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest energy prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
All right, this is the biggest home game of the season thus far. We said that when Kansas State came to town because, again, it was a team that the Wildcats had lost to pretty big last year, and then this is very similar. 41-19 was the score last year in Provo. I mean, an absolute beatdown, a game that got out of hand quickly in the second half for the Arizona Wildcats, and an undefeated ranked team in BYU coming in here with a freshman quarterback. Brent Brennan wants to see you at the game tonight.
My challenge to our fan base and to everybody that loves the University of Arizona is to show up. Let's sell out Arizona Stadium. Let's make this thing the hostile environment we know it can be, and make it really challenging for our opponents. When they get here. I think that's something I know we experience every time we go on the road. In the Big 12, we experienced it 2 weeks ago at Iowa State. Sold out, rocking, loud, hard to deal with, and I think that's something that we are absolutely capable of here. And I think and also when we do that, I would also ask our fans, let's be respectful in this thing. I think that's one of those things that we're better than that. And let's be here and let's see a great game. Let's cheer on the Wildcats with everything we got. Let's make it incredibly hard on BYU, but let's be respectful in the process.
Yeah, guys, I mean, obviously we had the incident that happened during the basketball season when BYU came in here and upset the Wildcats on the hardwood, and some of the fans and student section, there was a very negative chant towards BYU and what they're all about. That same negative chant happened again in a football game the last time that BYU went on the road to Colorado a few weeks ago. We do not want to see or hear any of that here today in Tucson.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's not what we're about. I expect the guys up the road to do something like that, but not us. We are Arizona. We are Arizona. But we got to have some decorum and really make sure that we are good fans, and we got to, first of all, we got to be show up fans. We got to show up, man. We got to show up today, man. If we do, you got a 4-1 team. You got a team that's playing pretty good. And what is there not to support? I just don't get that. We have to be out a little bit better, fans. I mean, everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of times for fans, I'd rather you focus on your team.
Yeah.
You know, especially after the game. I mean, either you're picking them up because they took an L, or you're clapping and you're cheering for them because they won. I mean, wasting time yelling stuff, you know, at the other teams or whatever. It used to be funny to me a lot of times. I ain't gonna lie. When I played, I did used to hear them though.
Yeah.
I heard some interesting stuff, you know, when you're playing. But it used to only fire me up to play better, you know, against your team. So hey, if they beat us, hey, it's over anyway, one way or the other.
Yep.
Interesting numbers, guys. That I was looking just because I remember the last time that BYU came here was 2018. They had that day 51,000 people showed up that night at Arizona Stadium. It was a game that the Cougars won by a score of 28-23. Speaking of Sabino High School, Matt Bushman played in that ball game for the BYU Cougars. Fine tight end out of Sabino. He had a touchdown that night for the blue and white. And I was wondering, since that night, how many times the Wildcats have had 50,000 or more people in the stadium. And I was actually quite surprised because it's happened 4 times since then. 2022 against Oregon, 50,800 at Arizona Stadium. The next year against Washington, that would have been, I believe, Jed Fish's second year here, 50,800 against Washington. And then that same year, the same number. It's really weird. The same number 3 times in a row. 50,800 against Utah later that year. And then last season, 50,702 for when Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes came to town for homecoming. So we have had 4 crowds here in the last 4 seasons of over 50,000, and I would expect that's probably what's going to happen today, unless, of course, we get that rain. It starts to rain a little bit later, and then that possibly could keep the attendance number down here today. But as long as the weather stays dry, at least through kickoff, I think you could see 50,000 people. Now, we've lost 3 of those, well, actually 4 of those last 5 times that we've had 50,000 or more.
And 50,800 is max.
Is that the max?
Yeah, that's the max.
Okay, so that's the sellout number.
Yeah, that's the sellout number.
I thought that, I wasn't sure if that was the sellout number.
Yeah, that's a sellout number.
You know, but you know, it's football wise, I won't say it for basketball because basketball always sold out. Basketball always sell out. But football wise, our fans want to see a big name. They want to be there if you knock them off. And so I totally expect to have it packed today with BYU because of that. They're a 5-0 team. They're a big name on the West Coast right now, probably one of the best teams on the West Coast. Am I wrong about that? So the fans are going to show up, and also all those teams we named travel well as well. People wanted to come see Deion.
Travels real well.
Right, and when Deion was here, a lot of people came just to see him. So it's a little bit of both there.
All right, so yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the sellout. The current sellout number since 2022 is 50,800. So we have sold out 3 times, close to sellout last year against Colorado. We'll see if we get close to that number here today against BYU. 2 coaches who are very close. They used to be assistants at Oregon State back in the day. They lived in the same neighborhood in Corvallis when they were assistants. Kalani Sitake on his friendship with Brent Brennan.
About Arizona, Brennan's a good friend of mine. He and I stay in contact a lot throughout the off season, and he's a good friend of mine. When we worked together at Oregon State, we lived within a block of each other, and so we actually have a really good friendship and have kept that friendship between us and our families this entire time. So it's good to go up against a friend. Very talented team. They have a lot of. First of all, it starts off with the quarterback. The guy can sling it, and I've been a fan of his. I won't be cheering for him this weekend, obviously, but I love the way he plays the game and the way that he's able to distribute the ball. I think offensively, a lot of attention goes to the offense and all the skill talent that they have at receiver and an athletic, physical line. Combine that with a really good run game. But I think a lot of attention should go to their defense too. I know Danny's done a great job with the defense, and they tackle well. They're aggressive. They make things really, really difficult for an offense, and so it's going to be a great matchup. We have to be at our best, but we're looking forward to that opportunity and improving from this last week to this upcoming game.
Here's a trivia question for you guys. Do you know Kalani Sitake's middle name?
Leroy.
That's a good guess, but no.
No.
Fafita.
Fafita.
Fafita. Kalani Fafita Sitake
Okay.
is his middle name. How about that?
Noah's
right there.
Noah's middle.
Exactly. Noah's first
last
name,
and-
last name
Yeah.
is Kalani Sitake's middle name. Nobody speaks more highly than Kalani Sitake than his good friend Brent Brennan.
Kalani's a great human being. You know, we had a lot of fun together when we were coaching there. We lived in the same neighborhood. Our kids ran around together in the neighborhood at all hours of the day and night. It was really fun. When we were together, I always thought he had just incredible command with the team. At that time, he was our defense coordinator. But he just had a great way about him. And he has a great ability to be honest with people, but also be demanding. And that showed up in our time together. And, you know, it's been fun for me because just watching the success he's had and continuing to, you know, have our friendship, you know, over the years, he's also been a guy that we've talked about stuff that we were dealing with, you know, within our program or within college football or whatever. You know, he's a really good football coach and an even better human being.
You know, a lot of people obviously were down on Brent Brennan last year when this team went 4-8. But I'm going to tell you, look, this is the kind of Kalani Sitake and Brent Brennan are very similar. I think they're very similar in that they're the kind of guy that will go to a place. Obviously, Kalani played at BYU. Brent didn't necessarily play here, so a little bit different. But the kind of guy that I think you can build a long-term regime around if you give that coach time to put it together, to get his systems in place and build a culture. Because we'll hear again from Kalani a little bit later, but he is very high, as you heard there, on Brent Brennan's ability to put together a culture that can be successful. And I think that's where these two guys are the same. We've seen what Kalani Sitake has done going on 11 years now at BYU. He has consistently had that team near the top of wherever they have played college football.
Yeah, he has a proven track record. I think he has his, you know, it's hard for a coach to establish anything if he hasn't got time, you know?
Right.
I mean, you got to give him time, and I think a time is 3 or more years. That's what I think it is, 3 or more years. After the third year, then you should have some semblance of what is going to be happening to that program. If you don't have it, if it's just constantly going downhill, you know, after the first and the second year, and then the third year goes downhill, then you got to start thinking about it. You got to think about where we're at right now in the second year of Brent Brennan and how he's doing. Just getting the pieces in place. I think he's got the coaches. We got good coaches. I think we have good coaches, and it's just right now it's just a shame for all these head coaches. Is you can't keep your coaches. You just can't keep your coaches because they're constantly going. They're leaving. I don't know if there is a team in the top 20 that has had coaches that's been with them for more than, you know, what's their average stay of all their coaches if you look at them at that place. I bet you it's not more than 3 or 4 years.
You know, and what I'll say about BYU is, you know, Sitake's did a great job, but they've always had a history of winning there.
Right. Yeah,
And I think that, you know, says a lot to reason why, you know, he was able to continue it. He was a player under the regime of winning there, too. I forget what's coach name. That was
Lavelle Edwards.
Lavelle was there forever, you know. So, yeah, to me, he just continued it and brought the same type of attitude to the sideline. I think that they have a great pipeline of athletes that they develop. That's the thing about their program.
Yes, it's development.
It's development. A lot of the guys come in, you know, a couple years in Mormon, on their mission, and then they come in as older guys that understand how to do their role. When I watch them, I don't see a bunch of individuals. I see a group, a team that, you know, when they attack you. So, yeah, no, he's done a great job of continuing the history.
All right, let's hear from Brent Brennan on what he sees from BYU on the field.
Okay, we're playing the 18th ranked team in the country. They're the number 8 defense in the nation. Offensively, they're incredibly efficient with a young quarterback when they combine big play receivers, right, and really effective run game and a lot of +1 run game with the quarterback. So I would say, you combine great defense with fantastic running back, run game, offensive line play. So this is a great challenge for our team, and we know that.
There you go. So we'll find out a little bit more about BYU coming up. We are currently under a flood warning here that began around noon in southern Arizona. However, right at this current moment, the percentage chance of rain, and it is not raining at the moment, is right around 19%. So that's gone down from what it was supposed to be around 1 o'clock yesterday, which was closer to 40%. It looks like now that if we are going to get rain, it's going to probably be after 5 o'clock. Yeah. So right around game time or through the game tonight, it jumps up to around 65% in the neighborhood of 7 o'clock, with some rain starting right around 5. So we could be still remain dry through the tailgate. That's the positive of the moment. Justin Kirtland is the defensive lineman for the BYU, and he talked this week about the rain chances here in Tucson.
It sounds like it's going to be really rainy in Tucson.
I hope so.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 years ago in Stillwater, you guys played in the rain against the
Yeah, I tell you what, if it's raining in Tucson and I make a play, you're going to see a penguin slide. You know what I'm saying? You know how BYU is. We're going to run the ball. Rain, shine, snow, whatever. So I don't know what they're doing over there. I hope it rains. I think they hope it rains too. You talk to the offensive line, they want to run the ball too. I hope so. It'll be a fun one.
All right, there you go. A lot of confidence sounding from that BYU side of the coin. Arizona, BYU, kickoff at 5 here in Tucson.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at CoolWillies.com. Cool Willies is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly, or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and 2-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Nobody does big screens like this. At Roadhouse Cinemas, every movie is massive with thundering surround sound and food and drinks delivered to your seat. Then, just steps away, Roadie's Lanes Games and Gastropub turns game day into an event. Huge screens with every play in full view. Hit the lanes, throw an axe, battle it out in laser tag, crush it in the arcade, or crazy darts. Movies, sports, food, fun, all in one place. Roadhouse and Roadies, 2 epic experiences, 1 unbeatable destination. Corner of Grant and Swan.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly done right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a neighborly company.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor that summer could finally be coming to an end. A big relief for us, but your car is probably still feeling the effects of the brutal summer heat. So now is the perfect time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a complimentary check of your tires, battery, brakes, coolant levels, and wiper blades. And if you're in the market for tires, you'll save big this month on our Arizona-proof collection of tires, like the smooth-riding, long-lasting Michelin Defender 2. With factory rebates and instant savings, you'll get back up to $200. And we've got lots more tires that can tackle Arizona's extremes like BF Goodrich and Uniroyal with big savings right now. Visit jackfurriers.com to check out all the specials. And for fast, friendly service, you can make an appointment online. Call ahead or just drive up and find out why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon.
Snap back, Fafita, short drop, fires the pass over the middle. It's caught, it's to the end zone, and it's in. Touchdown, Arizona. Trey Spivey, the redshirt sophomore out of Chandler, got his helmet knocked off as he got into the end zone, held onto the ball, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season, and the Wildcats up early. Fafita out of the shotgun, he'll take the snap, back to throw, looking left, throwing left, Spivey makes the catch inside the 15, loses a man at the 10, still on his feet at the 5, he's hit the end zone, boom! Touchdown Arizona!
What a play by Trey Spivey that time. He catches the ball on a quick slant, and he just breaks ankles on his way to the end zone. Big time play by Trey Spivey.
Here is the offensive scouting report for today's game.
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Kopp breaks away at the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Trey Spivey, 3 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns last Saturday, and the Wildcats win over Oklahoma State. 4 touchdowns now on the season. Guys, he is becoming a red zone threat. All 4 of his touchdowns within 25 yards of the goal line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he has just been a real threat. You know, he's 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
You know, he's tall. He doesn't look that tall when you see him. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that when I see him on the sideline. But he I guess he is. He might be 6'3.5", but. But we got to get the ball to him. We got to be able to get the ball to him, and we got to just score today. Today's going to be important for the offensive line to have the best game of their season right here. This has got to be one of their best games of the season. If we protect Noah, if we protect him and give him throwing lanes, we can do very well today.
Yeah, Trey is showing a lot of the abilities to do some of the stuff that T-Mac was doing. I mean, so I'm sure that's making Noah comfortable back there having a guy like that can make plays. I mean, some of the catches that he's making, the fingertips and putting the ball up, get it against his body, and then the moves that he's making out there. He's at least 210, 215, and he's making moves out there versus the DBs who are some of the best athletes that you can play in any sport, and he's beating those guys and getting to the end zone. So, yeah, no, he's a great find and a huge weapon coming out of Arizona.
And on that 4th and 3 play, the first touchdown showed a determination to get into the end zone, got his helmet knocked off, and players love to get their hats knocked off. It shows if they can continue to roll forward how tough they are. Let's hear from Trey Spivey on that determination that he brought on Saturday.
I feel like my mindset always, whenever I get the ball, is just be violent with the ball, and always get to the end zone by any means necessary. So, whenever I catch the ball, I'm locked into the end zone, trying to find my way through contact, through physicality, or agility. Find some type of way to get into the end zone. That's the most important thing.
So, Trey, having this game in Arizona, kind of your breakout game this season, what does it mean to you to do this in Tucson?
I'm sorry?
What does it mean for you to do this in Tucson in the state of Arizona?
It's huge. I take a lot of pride in being from Arizona, like genuine pride. I love bringing it up. Even back in my old school, I always talk about Arizona. Just, I love the state. So coming back here and being able to make plays and, have a game like this just makes me hungry to keep putting on for the city. It's huge for me.
Just your thoughts on Noah being able to bounce back after the fumble at the goal line there and still finish the game.
Oh man, everybody knows knows a dog, and he's extremely focused and he's hard on himself. He's hard on himself more than anybody, more than any critic, more than any fan. So that was tough for him. But he's also one of the most, when it comes to mentality, being locked in, he's big on that. He's super tedious about his process, and he trusts himself. He trusts the team. And we all trust him. So we knew he was going to bounce back and help us put some points on the board.
He did that indeed. 5 touchdown passes for Noah Fifita, the fourth time in his career he has thrown for 5 touchdown passes in a game. Second time he has done that this year. Noah stayed true to his mantra. When we win, others get the credit. When we lose, I'll go up there and take the bullets because, again, that's just the kind of kid that Noah Fifita is.
Well, my ego is just winning. That's all that I care about. All I care about is the team's success, the team winning. So stats, in my opinion, don't matter. Winning's all that matters, and whatever I can do on my part to contribute to that is all that matters to me.
And the guys, the one thing obviously that when I talked about it on the post-game show was again, passes weren't always right on receivers, but especially 2 balls he threw, the 2 of the 3 balls he threw to Trey Spivey, missing in the receiving zone, missing in front of the receiver where you can allow your guy to make a catch with momentum to run after the catch. We talk about yak. I think Bobby Raid called it rack earlier this week. Run after the catch, but and especially on that long one, which Trey took down to the 3-yard line. You put a ball out in front of a guy like that and give him some forward momentum, and great things can happen offensively.
Yeah, if you look at the great quarterbacks that are, the top quarterbacks in the NFL and everything, those guys are always hitting their receivers on the run where they can just move naturally and not making adjustments, get underneath the hip and accelerate to the next level. So those are important for Noah to get that timing down. And, you give him time, I think he's going to be able to do that. We get a good run game, he's going to be able to do that. I think the run game's got to be on today, man. It's got to be on today. We got to be our offensive line got to be one of the most physical games they've had this season, because I think they were very physical against Iowa State, and then we had to go away from the run because we were so far behind. But this game, we get in there early and we start getting our run game going. I think that we'll have a successful pass game today.
Yeah, and I think as Noah, we was talking about throwing the ball where guys could catch it and make plays with it. I think a lot of that has to do with him getting familiar with the receivers. They're starting to get that bond. They're starting to understand each other. And a part of that for the receivers is, hey, as I said before, catch the ball wherever he throws it. I mean, because that'll build more trust, and you'll want to go to that guy because you know the ball is going to be safe, around that guy, because he's going to figure out a way to make a play for you or keep the DB from catching the ball. So, yeah, I just think it's a thing of the receivers, the quarterback, plus the offensive coordinator starting to get on the same page. They had a little failure there versus Iowa State, so you bounce back and you play better and you improve, because usually from failure you have to get better and you want to show yourself. And Noah being a leader, he want to show the rest of the guys that he can take constructive criticism. He can also put the weight of the loss on his shoulders, even though I love when guys do that, but every individual guy on the team know that you didn't lose the game, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we all had something to do with that. You are a big part of what's going on because you have the ball in your hands. But at the end of the day, we all take the loss. So it's cool to have somebody get up there and do that. But at the end of the day, the reality is it's a we thing.
It's all of us. Yeah.
All right, the coordinators took the week off this week, so we got a chance to hear from wide receivers coach Bobby Wade on his receivers and how they are trying to make those connections with Noah Fafita.
Bobby, at times when Noah has missed your guys, he's missed behind them. What's your teaching technique for them to try to make those types of catches where the ball is not necessarily on them and they have to reach back across their body to try to catch it?
Yeah, we got to do a great job at adjusting to all balls that are thrown, and naturally you want to always talk to the receivers about attacking the football. So, being able to come back through a body, trying to get a PI and a catch is something that we work on. It's hard to simulate that in practice, obviously just with bodies being around. So the only real experience they get from that is within the game. And it's something that we just got to continue to work on. The more that we get the ball up and down to the guys on the perimeter, the more opportunities they'll get to be able to throw guys through, come back, and make aggressive catches to the football. And, Noah's doing a great job of giving us opportunities out there, and we just got to keep coming up with them.
And you as the wide receiver coach, were the routes better? They looked better Saturday. Were they better than they've been maybe in other games?
I hope so. I hope so. It's always a work in progress in that field, and just really trying to. You heard Luke mention it, trying to take the teaching from the practice field to the game. Everybody gets more excited naturally in a game, and so if you're not used to, putting yourself in that mind state every single time that you're running those routes, you could tend to get loose with technique. So I'm constantly trying to drill them just, the mentality when they're working on it, when we're just doing routes on air, even when we're doing walkthroughs, just the small details of, working on the break steps and, the steps at the top of the route, being efficient. All those things I just keep trying to hammer to them for when they're getting into the game situations. They're very comfortable, and it really just becomes second nature to them. They don't have to overthink it. It's just a reaction. So, it's tough. They naturally want to make plays, and they're straining to make plays, but they need to understand that technique wins.
And Bobby, what makes Trey such a good target in the red zone?
Obviously his length, his size. I also think when we talk about quality over quantity for Trey really bought into that, and understanding that we're going to put him in a good position, and he believes in that. So he knows when his targets come that we have ultimate confidence within him, and he has it within himself, and that he is going to go and make a play no matter what the circumstances are. And so he's really, really bought into that. But, Trey's strong. He's smart. He plays fast. He has a bunch of confidence. And so, and he's young still too, to remind everybody that he is still barely getting started in this process for him. But he's also buying into the mentality in the room, which is, every opportunity, don't waste a snap, be grateful, play with gratitude, love your teammates and play for your team. And he's really bought into that.
If I was a young guy, listen to what Bobby just said. If I was a young player, a young high school kid, one of the key things that I picked up on that is that when he even talked during walkthrough, doing your steps the right way. I had a coach that always would get on us during the walkthrough in the hotel when we're in the ballroom. And if you didn't get your hands in the right place, get your hands, step with your feet. All that stuff matters. It all matters. It's your technique. The more you do it, I tell all my athletes I train, the more you do it, the better you get. You got to do it. You got to practice. I think that 90% of your reps, that's what I try to emphasize, 90% of your reps should be perfect reps. You should try to get in that 90 percentile.
Practice how you play.
Yeah, you practice how you play. And if you can do that, then you're doing the right depth on your route. Because if you don't get the right depth, then the other guy that's coming across, guy can cover him with two people, with one guy. So those are important things that I'm glad I hear this from the coaches, and they're doing this, and we're seeing it on the field.
Yeah, no, it's great to have guys like Bobby who actually done it and played.
Yeah.
Because guys even respected even more coming from a guy like that. Because Bobby wasn't the fastest guy, he wasn't the biggest guy, but he was great at Arizona, and he did a great job playing in it. Yeah, precise and understanding and listening is what I tell guys all the time. We're playing at halftime with our 12U football team, and we tell those guys all the time. I tell them all the time. I said the guys with the most talent not necessarily are going to be the ones that make it. It's the ones that can listen and then go and execute what you ask them to do.
All right, Arizona and BYU. Let's see what the offense can do today. 5 touchdowns. That would be really nice again by Noah Fafita.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Spooky noises coming from your air conditioning system? Then treat yourself to the Right Way $59 Super Tune-Up and shake off the cobwebs from your AC. It's a 42-point inspection designed to maximize your AC unit's efficiency and lifespan with the most comprehensive tune-up in the industry. We'll even remove any built-up dirt, grime, and dust, and do a free carbon monoxide test. Just call Right Way, Southern Arizona's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical company today at 520-640-HOME. Right Way's $59 Super Tune-Up, a scary good deal.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
It's Which is Riches, only from Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Club Soul members can swipe daily to enter drawings held Friday and Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m., where winners get to pick from the Witch's Cauldron to see which prize is rich with $500 free play. It's Which is Riches, now through October 31st, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun, an enterprise of the Boscoyaki tribe.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
A proud sponsor of the University of Arizona radio broadcast.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon. Let's go In the Huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the Huddle with Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Guests. I'm U of A tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985. Our guest today is Doug Pfaff, kicker extraordinaire. He does everything. He punts, he kicks. He did one of the most famous kicks in Arizona history, beating number 1 Oklahoma at our field. The 6-3 kick that was heard around the world. Doug, how you doing?
Glad I'm doing great, man. Glad to talk to you this morning.
How's everything been going, man? Everything good in your life?
Life is great. I live up in Phoenix right now. Been married for 33 years. Got all 3 of my kids married, and got 4 grandkids. So life is good. Can't complain.
Oh man, you're just getting it all done, man.
It's been busy, but I'm blessed, man. So I'm happy. I'm back close to Tucson, living in Phoenix. I lived in Dallas for about 20 years, so it was kind of hard to always watch the games because they'd kick off at about 10:30 at night Dallas time. So I definitely like being back here in Arizona.
Yeah, you got 33 years. I got 35. With mine, 38, almost 38 with my wife. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for us, man. That's a pretty good batting average.
Absolutely, man. You and I are both blessed, man. And congrats on the longevity of that great marriage too.
Absolutely. So when you're at U of A, I just looked at one of the comments on one of my posts. Bruce Greenberg. You remember Bruce Greenberg?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Bruce,
I know the family well.
He commented on how he knew you when you were playing and he got to meet you and your wife and everything. And just talk a little bit about how the relationships outside of football that you get while playing at football at the University of Arizona.
It was great. We're all new when we come to University of Arizona. Most of us don't live in or grew up in Tucson, so I didn't really know that many people, and I came across the Greenberg family. At the time, they had lots of little kids, and just being nice and talking to people, after practices, after games. And one time they invited me to come over to the house and have dinner, which, as you know, back then,
yep,
a meal was a meal. I mean, hopefully it wasn't officially a violation back then.
Yeah, exactly.
But we both me and at that time my girlfriend, who's now my wife, I mean, we'd be invited to their kids' birthday parties, and we'd show up and just would buy Girl Scout cookies from their kids as they got older, and just really formed lifelong relationships, and it's coming full circle. When my youngest kid played football at U of A, they would help out him, when he was in Tucson, help him get situated. And they had one of their daughters that unfortunately, died at an early age. And I remember I flew out and spent an afternoon in the hospital with her, just because, again, it was somebody that I had known ever since I was a college kid. So, yeah, you're blessed with meeting a lot of great people when you play for the Cats.
Doug Pfaff is our guest in the huddle with Hal, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona. Doug, I mean, did you always think that you were going to be a D1 kicker?
No. I mean, I always felt I was a D1 athlete, Glenn, but didn't know what that sport was going to be. In high school, I was a elite soccer player in the state of California, but back then in the 80s, wasn't a whole lot of major universities giving scholarships for soccer. So the sport I thought I was going to play in college was actually baseball. I was a shortstop, thought I was going to do that. And
did you try to play at U of A when you were here?
I did, actually. So it was funny. Coach Kendall, I was a junior college transfer. So, I played football, and I was going to play baseball in junior college until football just took off and awarded me my opportunity to come to U of A. But I asked Coach Kendall during one of our pregame Bible studies, I'm like, hey, Coach, I'd love to try out for your baseball team. And he said, well, when was the last time you played baseball? I said, well, 2 years ago when I was in high school. But I said, Coach, I'm on full scholarship for football, so if I earn playing time, don't worry, it's not going to cost you anything. But he's a pretty loyal guy. He's like, nah, I just couldn't give you that opportunity, with all the kids that are, busting their butt 365 days a year just for his baseball team. So it didn't work out, but I think football worked out okay for me anyways.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's kind of hard to play. Like I went to junior college too. When I went to junior college, I went to go to junior college to play baseball. Then the football coach took me off the field and said, "You're playing football," and then I never played baseball again. So
that's ironic.
Yeah, because it's really weird how those things work out. You look at that, and it's just like when you were kicking at junior college, were you getting a lot of offers to go to universities to play football?
I did. I played in Southern California back in the 80s. That was pretty elite. Junior college football was back in California, and so
absolutely.
I had a lot of universities that were offering me. And as you know, back then the recruiting period was end of November till early mid-January, and then you sign in February. It isn't like it is today where you get recruited sometimes when you're in ninth grade, but yeah, I got all my scholarship offers. I was a punter actually in junior college. So I kicked my second year in junior college as well, but I, had a good leg, but I couldn't tell you why I would kick it through the uprights or why I'd kick it wide of the uprights. So punting was what I was best at, and that's what I got recruited for to all my schools, including, why I chose U of A.
So you're coming to U of A, your junior college transfer. Did you have to beat somebody out when you were coming here? Because usually when I came, there was like the Coach Smith told me that you got these two other junior college guys you're going to have to beat out to start at offensive guard, and this other guy, Mike Freeman, he's gonna be playing there, so he ain't beating him out. Okay, so he gave me the straight up. Did you have to beat somebody out, or were they needing a punter and a kicker right away?
Well, both. It was unique because I got recruited by Coach Smith as well. But if you remember, that was the year they played in the Aloha Bowl, and then immediately the whole staff went to USC. Mm-hmm. So I came in, got recruited now by, Coach Tomey and his staff were the staff, but they needed a punter. When I came in the fall, I was kind of battling an injury, and frankly, Brett Hawley, who was, a two-time kid who had been with the program. Yep. He beat me out. And so, he earned the job. And so I was backing up Brett Hawley, and then I was backing up Gary Costin for kickoffs and field goals. So that was what I did my first year when I redshirted. And then the next year came, And Brett was pretty solid as a punter going in his senior year, and Gary was a 2-year starter. But I earned the kickoff job, and then I was doing all the long field goals, and then got my opportunity to eventually be the everyday kicker midway through that junior season of mine. And so once I got it, just didn't want to let go of that chance to play every Saturday night.
Doug Pfaff is our guest in the Huddle with Hal, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona. So Doug, I always used to say, I go out to practice, then all of a sudden we'd warm up, and then we see the kickers leave. Okay, they would leave. Max and those guys and Holly they all leave, and they go to the stadium and they do everything. How is that as a kicker? I always wondered, how is that as a kicker? You're not with the team all the time. With everything else going, you're going somewhere separate. How was that? How did you prepare yourself for games while you're not always with the team? Only when when it was special teams, we'd run a couple plays.
Sure. I mean, as you remember back in the day, we wouldn't have much space to get our practice in once the team session for whether it was punt or a field goal was over. So yeah, we'd go to the stadium. Exactly. We'd walk over to the stadium, get our kicks in, sometimes play some nice little kicking games because none of the coaches were there with us, maybe go up to the upper deck, punt the ball from the upper deck down on the field and try to catch the punt. But the whole time was, even though we're having more of a relaxed atmosphere, you're still always trying to get better every day. And that was the key, is if we can just get a little bit better every day, then hopefully, we'll continue to progress our skills throughout the season and be an asset for our team as opposed to a liability. So that was the main thing, is knowing that, even though we may not always be with the team every minute of practice, we're still an important part of the team, and we took pride in our job and didn't want to make sure that, we let our teammates down or, our fan base down.
Yeah, our kicker now, Michael Salgado Medina, he's missed a couple of kicks, and how do you deal with that when you're as a kicker? How do you get your mindset back to what would you advice would you give to him about getting back on track and just kicking those things through?
Yeah, that's the tough thing, because you have to have a very short memory. It's almost like a DB that just plays nothing but zero coverage, just plays man coverage. You know what? You're going to get beat sometimes. But if you let it linger in your head, then guess what? You're going to get beat again and again and again. And so as a kicker, we all want to be perfect, but odds are we're going to miss a kick. But we got to have a short memory, realize why we missed that kick, correct that mistake. So the next time we get an opportunity, whether it's on the next drive, the next quarter, or the next game, we got to be ready to deliver. And so that was the biggest thing, was just staying mentally sharp and just knowing that, my goal every game is to be 100% perfect. And if I make a mistake, just don't make that mistake again.
Yeah, and you worked with Tyler Loop. Didn't you work with him a little bit?
I did. Yep, I was
Tell
actually
us
his
about
first
that.
kicking coach. We grew up in the same school district out in Lucas, Texas, a suburb of Dallas, and he was a middle school kid, real good soccer player, and his older brother was good friends with one of my sons, and his dad asked me hey, can you see if he's got a chance to be a kicker? And so I worked him out.
If he's got a chance.
And yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But he had a great leg, and just he's also just a great kid. He actually was roommates with my son when Tyler first came to U of A. They were both on the team, and then so I've stayed in touch with Tyler, to this day. But he's, again, even when he was at U of A, he had some adversity. But you're always going to have adversity. He had some injuries he had to deal with. He had some other things he had to deal with. So it helped to just kind of be, a mentor from afar. Whenever he's got a question, I'm always here to answer it for him. But, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he knew what he had to do to just battle through whatever adversity he was facing.
So let's go back. Let's go back in time, and think about that drive that was going down. It's 3-3, Oklahoma, national television. They're moving the ball down the field. And what was your thought process? Walk us through when you watched that drive. Do you watch the drive, or are you there sitting there kicking it in the net? What were you doing?
A little of both. So obviously, every time our offense gets the ball, I mean, I'm expecting to make a kick. I'd love to kick extra points all the time, but you know what? I'm a field goal kicker. I want our team to score touchdowns, but I'm pretty happy when we have to kick a field goal, because that means I got a little bit more impact on the game than just kicking an extra point. So anytime we got the ball, I'm ready to kick. On that drive, I knew, hey, you know what? This is going to be the last drive of the game, because there wasn't that much time left. And so our offense was driving down the field. Once they pretty much crossed midfield, I knew it was.
And what was your range? What was your range? What were you looking to say? Oh man, I got this.
Well, so unfortunately, my whole senior year, I had a pulled groin, and at that time of the season, I didn't understand that. My range was, if it got to the 38-yard line, so it'd be a 55-yard field goal, I felt very confident I'd make it. What I didn't realize, Glenn, is that was in pregame, and as the game went on and you took kicks, I lost strength in my groin because of the injury.
Oh yeah.
And so I didn't realize at the time, because I've tried some like 49, 50-yard field goals, but so in my head I was thinking, hey, if we can just get near the 40-yard line, I'm going to make it. We got to the 23-yard line, so it was a 40-yard field goal. And, thankfully, by the grace of God, everybody did their job. The kick went through. But in all candidness, there wasn't a whole lot of extra room. So if it would have been a 50-yard field goal, I don't think I would have had the distance.
All right, man. I mean, that's that. Did you visualize that before you got on the field, that you kicked it through?
100%. I mean, one of the things that I think was my strength was the mental aspect of it, and that's what, helped. And so my ritual every Friday night before we'd go to the team hotel for home games or away games is I'd go, especially for home games, I'd go to Arizona Stadium in the dark. I'd have my snapper and my holder with me. We wouldn't have a football, but we would just go through about 25 spots on the field as if we were doing exactly what we were supposed to do during the game, and just visualize 100% perfection. And
that's great.
So yeah. And so I was really into the mental aspect of it, and again, my holder and my snapper, they came on board too, and I think that's what made us such a great unit, because some of the challenges that we might be seeing this year with our kicker is when a kicker misses a field goal, it's always, the kicker missed it. But there's a lot to it. And if that hold isn't perfect, if that snap isn't perfect, it sure makes that kick that much more difficult to be perfect. So all three aspects of it have to be in unison for a successful field goal kicker.
Absolutely, man. Well, our thanks is to Wildcat football alum Doug Fath. Doug, I appreciate you coming on, giving us a little memory lane going down the Oklahoma 6-3 game, and also giving us some insight on what a kicker goes through, for practice and everything. And hopefully our kicker today will have an opportunity to put us up I like to see him put us up or put a game away, or, to make sure that they're out of reach. That's what I love to be in our situation today. But I want to thank you very much for coming on today, and bear down, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Glenn, and I'll see you on the homecoming. But again, let's go Cats. Bear down.
Bear down.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona. Our Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour one of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hi, I'm Lisa Chastain. No one should go hungry, especially at Thanksgiving. That's why Gospel Rescue Mission is hosting our annual Thanksgiving Blessings event. Join us on Wednesday, November 26th for a home-cooked Thanksgiving meal. Also, clothing, haircuts, additional resources, and life-changing opportunities. Celebrate the holidays with us, because Thanksgiving is better when we share it together. Visit grmtucson.com to learn more.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704 or jtautoaz.com.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rock and Materials. A few bare spots in the yard, the driveway needs filling in, or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rock and Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rock and Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, trust a true local Tucson company, Done Right Services. We pride ourselves on delivering top-notch service, fair pricing, and expert craftsmanship. The job isn't finished unless it's done right. Weekend emergency? No problem. Just give us a call. We're here when you need us. You deserve the best, and Done Right Services delivers. Call us today for a free estimate at 520-369-3966.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
The days of waiting weeks or even months for new countertops is over. The Window Depot has a wide selection of in-stock granite and quartz countertops so you can upgrade your kitchen or bathroom now. From sleek, modern quartz to timeless granite, we have the perfect countertop to match your style and budget. And it's ready to take home today. Our team is here to help you choose the perfect countertop at the lowest price and get it home fast. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Wildcats Nation. Are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trey Stooks throws to the back of the end zone. It's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats. Let's go. Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Flores back to throw on first down, near side and over that, picked off, intercepted by Arizona. The Cats will take over at the 45-yard line. Great leaping grab by Javion Cole.
What a big-time play by Javion Cole. He had eyes on the quarterback the entire time. It was man-to-man coverage. He broke on the ball as it was in the air, just snatched it out of the air. Just a huge play by Javion Cole.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll give you your defensive scouting report for the Arizona Wildcats, brought to you by Rocky and Kay, the master plan community that is straight ahead. We're going to talk to Toby Bourget. He is the father of BYU backup quarterback Trayson Bourget out of South Point Catholic High School. I'm sure the Bourgets are tailgating around campus today, so we'll check in with them as they welcome home Trayson for the first time as a college football player. They've done this before. Trenton played twice for the Arizona State Sun Devils at Arizona Stadium. DK with BB, my questions this week to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, and also we'll go in the captain's corner straight ahead. Brooks Reed, class of 2010, one of two parts of the Sack Brothers with Ricky Elmore. Back in the day, I'm not sure we've had defensive ends quite like that. It's been 15 seasons. Yeah. So that was a long time ago that we had defensive ends like those two guys running around here on campus. Let's take a look at
problems.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at what's going on with your Arizona Wildcats defense.
Let's look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. They needed that.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rocking K. Rocking K, Tucson's premier master planned community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
11, and the number is 11 interceptions for the Arizona Wildcats so far this season. You heard the one by Javion Cole there. He's got two of those. They also forced a fumble in the game last week as the turnover, the takeaway train continues for this revamped Arizona Wildcats defense. Max Harris stuck his hat into the pile and forced out a ball. He has been a big part of that linebacking crew that has been playing extremely well for the Arizona Wildcats. Let's hear from Max Harris on his forced fumble last week.
We watch a ball tape before every game, just focusing on getting the ball out, tucking the ball, ball security, things like that. So, I mean, my process and my thoughts, like during this game, I was like, I got to get the ball out. So, the running back came through. I saw a ball, put my helmet on the ball, and just, gave him all, pretty much.
Max, after giving up nearly 400 yards of offense and 39 points last week, defense just ratcheted it down, less than 150 yards for Oklahoma State, kept them out of the end zone. Just what was that message like, kind of the preparation this week to do that?
The biggest thing, especially like I talked to the team about it, is that between the whistles, it's the most important play of the game. And then after the whistle, it's done. So, as a defense, we just want to focus and play by play, making sure that we're locked in every single play, keeping our eyes disciplined. We knew that we're going to come out with a lot of trick plays and things like that, and just staying detailed and doubling down on our process.
I correct myself, 11 takeaways total on the season. That is fumbles and interceptions. The Wildcats have 7 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries so far in this 2025 season, of which they are now 4-1. I mentioned that the coordinators took the week off this week, so we got a chance to hear from Bobby Wade on the offensive side of the ball, linebackers coach Josh Bringle on the defensive side of the ball, and Josh talked about the defense bouncing back off that loss at Iowa State.
Everybody in the room was so attacking everything that we did. And from the guys I think you got to see Chase Kennedy this week attack the way that he did because that's the work that he's put in from January, February, March, all through the summer. So it's just exciting when anybody takes on a challenge and attacks it. Right, that's what you see from Tay Brown, the reason he's had success here. Max Harris is going to 4 different schools and now taking on this challenge coming here and is playing great football. You know, that's why you see Myron coming in as a freshman. He came in July and came in and attacked and got some opportunities to play. So for anybody, it's really exciting when people take on any challenge, and that's what has been fun in the room, where you have that competition and all the guys get to compete.
Josh, Riley Wilson carries himself as a captain, but obviously he was a transfer in. He missed time in the fall. Can he have that voice on this defense? Does he have that type of voice on this defense?
Shoot, he's a tremendous leader because of his actions and what he does, not just what he says. First and foremost, it's what he does. So for him, with how hard he works, there's a ton of respect within the team for him. And there's a ton of respect for all the guys on the team that are willing to put in that extra, the in-between, the unrequired. Because that's what's cool. When you have a culture that respects work ethic, respects toughness, and those type of things, good things come from that. And we got a great culture that is supporting those things and is promoting those things. So guys like Riley that play with red line and attack every day that way, yeah, they absolutely are. So it's exciting for him to be a leader on this team and take on every challenge. And so I'm excited for him and a lot of the guys in the room.
Guys, we had a chance to hear from Riley Wilson this week. He walked into the press conference and he walked over to Brian Jeffries and introduced himself and shook hands with Brian. I thought he was doing that just because he knew who Brian Jeffries was. Then he proceeded to go down and introduce himself to every single member of the media that was in the room before he got up to take questions. I've been covering this for 18 years, and I can count on my hand maybe on one hand the number of guys that have ever done that. That's what leaders do.
Yeah, absolutely. And just think about what every one of those guys said in their address. Attack, attack, attack. Every single one. That's all they think. If you are thinking and talking and saying that word, you're going to be doing that. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. And that's exactly what our defense is doing, is attacking and that red line, all that stuff. They're all in sync, talking the same thing. And I think that they think it, they believe it, they dream it, they believe it, and they focus on it, and then they achieve it, man.
And I was hearing DK said he's, went down and shaked everybody's hands. That's maturity. That's when you bring older guys in that kind of gets it a little bit. He's been around a little bit, had some injuries. He really is loving this opportunity to be on the field and playing at that opportunity. And playing at this level and having a guy like that, like Coach said, it don't always have to be with words. Having a guy like that with his actions at practice, the way he studies, and the way he carries himself could help a program immensely.
All right, that is your first look at your Arizona Wildcats defense ahead of this game against the BYU Cougars.
And that's a look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game. Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rocking K. Rocking K, Tucson's premier master planned community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Acclaimed Drain, Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature. And by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived.
Uh-oh, another plumbing disaster. Don't panic. Call the pros at Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions. From clogged drains to full-blown repipe repairs, our expert team is fast, getting repipes done in one day. Reliable, professional, and always ready 24/7. When water won't behave, Acclaimed saves the day. Call 520-200-1089 or visit acclaimed-drain.com. Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions. Trusted, local, acclaimed.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live.
It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor summer might finally be over. And with cooler temperatures on the way, it's a good time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. If it's time for tires, the long-lasting Michelin Defender 2 is your Arizona-proof choice. Check out jackfurriers.com for savings on Michelin and all your favorite brands. More savings and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon.
All right, Arizona and BYU coming up. We've got you till 3:30, so about a little over an hour and a half still to go with us today before we hand you over to the network. Rain is holding off at the moment. There is some rain on the east side, a little bit down by the airport, but nothing too bad right now. We are in studio. We had to make that decision early, unfortunately, when it did not look so good, but there are people out on campus, and I would imagine one of the biggest groups is the Bourget family, because Trayson is back in town. I believe Trayson is the 3rd son in the Bourget clan. He is the backup quarterback for the BYU Cougars. Started his career at Central Michigan, and now back here playing in his hometown for the first time in college. Pleased to be joined by his dad, Toby Bourget, the matriarch of the Bourget football clan. And Toby, appreciate you taking some time. You guys have done this before, but it's always great to have one of your own come back to have a chance to play on the stage that they grew up watching others play on.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
What's up, Toby?
What's up, fellas? What's up? Yeah, man. Good. Great day for the family. We actually came up to Star Pass right now and had lunch with Trayson, and a lot of the family rolled through, and yeah, it's good. It's a great day. God is great, man.
So how does that work? You guys, you actually did get to see him on game day. They have a little bit of obviously with a later kick, a little bit of downtime during the day that they can spend with family.
Yeah, usually we're able to see him like on Fridays and a little bit on Saturday. There's small windows you can see your family. So being in Tucson, everybody kind of made their way up here, and it was great. It's great. Trayson is big on, our whole family is, but Trayson's a real big family kid, so he loves being around family. So this is great.
So how many people are going to be there today supporting him?
We ended up, I think, all in all, we probably got like 70 tickets.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot of family and friends in town, and yeah, it's cool. It's a great opportunity.
They didn't give you those good they didn't give you those good Zona seats, the Zona Zoo seats that y'all had the one year.
You know what? Yeah, you have to know the story. That's an inside story. But remember, that was on Thanksgiving break. That's the only reason we were able to. That made for interesting times.
Territorial
right
Cup game. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
the gold dot. The gold dot.
dot.
Yeah, that was fun.
Of course, that was when
was
Trenton
fun.
was playing, and that was the game he started. He started that game that year.
Yeah, he started that game. That was it was a great game. He fourth. That was a big game for Trenton. Other than the end, everybody won that day is what I say.
Yeah.
Trenton played great. U of A still got the win. So everybody was good.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously did not start last year's game, but came in late and threw a touchdown to his brother. So, and the fact, obviously, they won that game pretty big, and to have that moment for the brothers, that had to have been the crowning the crown on top of a great college career for him.
Yeah, that was quite a moment. And you know what's neat is the way stories go. Is over the years. I ran a commercial once in the NFC Championship game when Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals were playing, and to this day, people swear that I had a Super Bowl commercial. So it's only been a year, and Trenton actually threw a first down to Coben, and the next play threw a touchdown to the other slot receiver. But to this day, in mythology, Coben caught the touchdown pass from Trenton. So it all works. It was a great moment to see the boys out there together, and now. Trayson's back, so it's all awesome, man. It's all awesome.
So obviously, Trayson, they can't with the situation with Jake Retzlaff leaving, and Trayson had a chance to win that job. But just what was his feeling during that time, competing for the opportunity, and then obviously it not going his way when they decided to go with Bear Bachmeier?
Let's just say that Trayson did his thing in camps. Like he always does, you guys. He represented at the highest level. And when coaching staffs make decisions, you just go with it. You accept your role and excel in your role. You know what I mean? So there was not it wasn't a case where Trayson just didn't have a good camp. Like Trayson had probably the best camp that he's probably ever had. And they decided to go another way. So it is what it is. There's only one quarterback. So it's that's the way it is. And playing that position, you accept that. And Trenton went through 22 quarterbacks at ASU.
Wow.
So our family knows the deal. We know that when you take that position, you have to know that this is what happens, and it's part of the deal. So he's been in every seat, and he supports his quarterback room, and he's ready if his number's called. But yeah, it had nothing to do like. He's excelling. He did his thing in spring, did his thing in fall, and this is the way they decided to go. So he's good. He's ready to roll.
Toby, this is Glenn Howell. How you doing?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
I'm doing great, Glenn.
Tell us about Tucson Turf has done an excellent job of developing the kids, and your alumni on that team is unbelievable of guys that play in Division I. How do you
guys that play in the NFL?
Yeah, right. NFL, Division I, and all over the place. How did you develop that kind of mentality of basically you developed a lot of winners?
Well, I like that you went there with it because I want to put it down right now. And our program at that level we only have the kids for 3 or 4 months. So we are not developing talent. We are exposing talent to the country at the highest level of competition. So just to be very clear, I don't claim to go out and train kids and teach them how to catch and run and throw. However, when they put on our uniform, we do things a different way. And I just want to say, like, our mentality, what we allow our kids to say and act and do is a lot different than anybody else in the country. And that's why we have kids from all over the country that reach out right now we're taking kids reaching out every week. How can I get on the team? Just because as much as we think this generation is all about backflips and me, there are a few out there that they want to be around positive people that aren't about that extra, and they just want to play ball and have a good time doing it, but not doing it in a way where, it's not a circus act. So those are the types of kids that really fit in our program, like Devin Dampierre. He was the first quarterback after my kids were quarterbacks for the program, and kids like that. So it's just a mentality. And like you said, you develop a culture, and they have to buy into our culture. We don't bend for anybody. And that winning way, I think you look at the kids that leave our program, they've been exposed to like the highest level of competition, and how do you win at that level? And that's something that we do. We don't talk about winning. We just go out and show that we can do it at the highest level every year. So part of the magic.
And my follow-up question is, what I think is an important question, did you get any pushback from all these high school coaches? Because sometimes they just get a little bit territorial. The answer is yes. Yeah, I know.
And because automatically there's a lot of assumptions, like, they must practice all the time and they must do that. Little do they know, we stress to every kid and every parent that comes on board, like, your high school comes first. Your scholastics comes first.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is something they do in addition to it. If there's a tournament the same day as something you have at your high school, unfortunately, you're just not going to be here with us because we're not going to risk anything at your school. Now, that's a tough decision for kids because, we're taking them where they're going to have recruiting scouts all over the field and making notes at a national level, where they might have to go to a tournament, here locally. So that's a decision they make on their own. But we as a program, we don't ever stress them, no, it's us or nothing. We don't put that on players. And there's so many kids in line ready to play. If a kid misses for whatever reason, someone else takes that opportunity and runs with it. But yeah, but listen, once we have actual conversations, with everything, right? It's just a real conversation and talk to coaches. Then they realize, like, we're not taking money from kids. It's not a money grab, and it's about the kids' future. Like, we can put them in front of people that they're not going to see if they don't leave the state and go to
all
these
you do
national
is giving them exposure and making the kid better. With the main thing should be the benefit of the kid.
Of the kid.
Nothing else
That's it.
but the kid.
Yeah, and what I tell people is like, okay, I'm going to take you to Florida, and the kids you're going to line up against in the next 2 days, each one of them is going to play at Ohio State, LSU, Georgia. Okay, when you come back to Tucson or you come back to Phoenix, now you're going to line up against a kid from Desert Edge or Scottsdale. Or now that it doesn't seem so much, right? You're not so. So that's really, especially for Tucsonans. I mean, how many times you get to compete at that level? Like, you just and you might get beat down at these tournaments, but you come back a better player, having been beat down by these top level. Now you know what you're trying to get to. That's the whole point. When I was being raised in the 80s, that was my dad's mentality about wrestling. That's why he took me to tournaments that were at the state level and at a larger competition, because he wasn't so impressed winning everything in Tucson. He wanted to take me elsewhere to get me better so I can see the world and then come back and dominate, That's the whole point. Yeah.
These kids don't know how lucky they are. They get to go to Canton every year and all these great places where football is just what it's all about.
I'll say, Toby, this Kelvin Efa, man. I remember coming to a park on the east side, and you were just kind of getting started. The kids were little. I think you were playing flag football. I think I played a flag football game too.
I thought Kelvin was going to give me once when I scored the winning touchdown in like 10 seconds left. Hey, Kelvin, and real talk right now. I'm in the huddle. We're at like the 4-yard line. and we're down. We must be down a point. It's a single touchdown game. We're going to win the game. In my mind, I know we're winning. Kelvin's on defense. We call timeout. I tell the players in my huddle, I said, listen, whatever happens right now, I said, I'm going to put this in the end zone. We are going to win this game. I don't know what's going to happen after this, but whatever happens, get off the field. Because Kelvin, I'm not messing around, fellas. I'm a tough dude, but I'm not going to go there. So I said, this is what I told him. I said, don't get in trouble for me. Because I'm going to handle my business. I'm going to get out there. So I scored. I put my head down and came right back to the huddle. Yeah, we had some great games, though, man. I love to compete at that level. I love competing at a high level. That's exactly what I love being in those games.
Yeah, man. I remember your kids, man. And, hey, man, I'm proud of what you guys have been able to accomplish with that Tucson turf. I got a little 12-year-old, so I might be contacting you soon.
We're always ready, man. And if we got an Epon on the team, that only elevates the team, man. We got a lot of. I remember when you came in and balled out on the football field and the basketball court, man. You played with the level of intensity was. It was like, don't take this bad way, but it was like Cam Scatterbo, like Scat, and you like have that same dog mentality, man. I love it.
Oh yeah,
love watching you play.
Yes, sir.
All right, where's the tailgate on campus? Are you guys going to be tailgating out there before the game?
Well, you know what? Trayson called us this morning and threw a little wrench in things. We didn't know we were going to get up here, but yeah, we're going to head on down. You know, we're all decked out in the Trayson gear, so we'll find some spots that'll be friendly to us and like I posted, man, I make sure everybody knows.
BYU down here.
Oh yeah. That's the thing with BYU guys. It's crazy. We travel places and like they just take over stadiums, which is awesome. You know, anywhere you go, and it's listen, I love. Obviously, I love Arizona. We've been with ASU a lot, but the BYU community it's really cool to see, man. It's a great, supportive community everywhere. So,
well, Toby, best of luck, obviously, to Trayson as he continues out his time at BYU. Always great to talk football with you, and keep doing everything you guys are doing over there with Tucson Turf.
Absolutely, David. Listen, I appreciate what you guys do, man. Years of support, so we all appreciate it.
There we go, Toby Bourget, dad of Trayson and Trenton and Kylan and all the. I think there's 2 young ones coming. So I would imagine we'll be seeing them on the high school
and his
field.
daughter.
And
the
Kylan,
daughter.
That was the daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's the daughter. Yeah, she was doing her thing on the flag football circuit, trying to get into that international competition. That's going to be going to the Olympics here, coming up here in 2028. So we'll keep an eye on her as well. Just tremendous. She won everything in state in high school. I think she won like 7 rings or something. Some of us don't win any high school state championships. She won like 7. So in a bunch of different sports: volleyball, beach volleyball, soccer. Just a great family of athletes right there here in Southern Arizona. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We're going to go into the corner with the captain straight ahead. Brooks Reed will join us coming up. It is Arizona and BYU tonight at the stadium. Kickoff at 5. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Did you spend money on your AC this summer? My friends at Rightway will give you back up to $3,000 for those repairs.
That's right. No matter who did the repair, we'll buy it back for up to $3,000 towards the purchase of a new heating and air system.
No repair bills this year? No worries. Get 0% financing and no payments for 18 months. $3,000 trade-in for your old AC. 10-year parts and labor warranty. Plus a free system upgrade.
Have an aging heating and air system out of warranty? We'll inspect it absolutely free. Call Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. 520-201-8220.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
I come from a low-income family, and as a first-generation college student, it was difficult for me to navigate the way. Hughes Federal Credit Union and Earn to Learn provided a pathway for me to learn valuable budgeting and financial education. I am currently a graduate student in public health and helping my younger siblings with their college paths.
Find out how Hughes and Earn to Learn join forces to support student success at hughesfcu.org/earn-to-learn. Insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway and discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here. Oh, man. Don't worry. With Drain Masters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this... They brought my aunts and uncles, too! ...is gonna be fine. Drain Masters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainMastersTucson.com.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon. Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. And now, here is the captain, Calvin Efon.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. I'm Kelvin Efon. Our guest today is Brooks Reed, defensive end from the class of 2010 here at the U of A. Brooks, thanks for coming on, man. How are you doing today?
Hey, thank you, guys. I'm doing good. I just drove into Phoenix, and I'm checking into my hotel with my family right now. So I'm giving them the full U of A experience and get a little taste.
Yes, sir. Oh, man, that's great, man. You know, when you can bring the family in and get that feeling of, you know, being back around, we know where your old stomping ground. That's always great to have. You played here at Sabino for Coach Jay Campos. What did that mean for you to play at Sabino?
You know, to be a local guy for Jay, you know, and it was awesome to stay local and, you know, for him to come to my games, and it was awesome. And for him to show, you know, younger guys an example meant a lot for him and a lot to me too. And, you know, he followed me a lot of my career and even through the NFL, and he traveled to Houston and Atlanta and stuff. And It was awesome. And I'm supposed to go up to Micah Mountain where he's coaching now and talk to his kids a couple days. So, and make the rounds. So when I'm in town, I try to take advantage.
Yes, sir. And so in 2006, my brother played at Sal Point, and I remember watching you guys, you and Glendon Bolowski, right? He committed here at running back as well, right?
Yep. And I was blocking for him.
Yeah. No, I seen. Yeah, I was blocking for him. No, I remember you were a fullback. I was at the game on the sidelines, and I was, looking at you guys, and I was like, we don't get too many guys that look like those guys around here. I was hoping that you guys came to U of A, and I was thinking, what made you guys come to U of A? Who recruited you here?
Mike Stoops came into our weight room one day, and Glennon had a scholarship to go to U of A way before I did. And this is because he was Gatorade Player of the Year, and stat wise he was a lot better. And I didn't, but he came to the weight room one day, and Jay Campos always tells the story, and my dad does too. And Mike comes in, he's like, they came in to see some guys, and then they go, who's that guy? Like, we haven't heard of him. Like, who's that guy throwing all that weight around? And they came out and watched track practice one time. Me and Glennon were part of 4x1 for a track team, and he came out to a track practice. He's like, hey, you can run too. He could throw the power clean around. Good work ethic, and a pretty quiet kid, and to himself, and that's kind of how it started with Mike Stoops.
Yeah, and Tucson isn't known for developing D1 football players. So what made you guys believe? What made you believe that you could actually play at that level?
You know what? I didn't believe in I didn't think I could. Honestly, when I was a junior, I was taking visits to other D1 colleges like UCLA, and I remember seeing some of these schools, like me being a fullback, I was like looking at some of the DNs I'd have to block at the next level. I was like, oh my God, like these guys are all bigger than every single player on our team, including me by, 2 days. I was like, there's no, like, am I going to grow, hit a growth spurt or something? Like, what's going on? But, I just continuously just kept grinding and kept in the weight room. And, that's where I got my confidence. And, I felt like I was kind of an outlier, and I didn't have any previous family that played at a high level, or any professional sports. So I was kind of like the first in my family to do that. And so I had to kind of pave my own path. And, I was the first one to believe in myself and kind of create that dream. And, I thankfully played somewhere that gave me a chance, and just, started to create highlight after highlight, and, had at least just all I needed was one team to believe in me. And, that's kind of how I am, I just need one person. I don't need a whole slew of people, and that's how it went.
Brooks, David Kelly here. We were saying just before you came on how it's probably been since you and Ricky Elmore left that we've had dynamic defensive ends here in this program. What was special about the relationship that you had with Ricky and the things that you guys were able to do working on opposite sides of that defensive line back in those days?
Oh, man, that's my buddy right there, Ricky Elmore, and also DeAndre Reed. And I just messaged him the other day. I hadn't heard from him in a while. And, we were just a great trifecta. And people always forget about DeAndre Reed. He played in the league for 4 years at least. Very soft-spoken kid like myself. But Ricky was just like a different cat, like on the field. He just had all the tools, and he was just always a monster on game day. And it was just always a contest between me and him who was getting a sack. We just always made it fun. And our coaches at the time made it fun. Jeff Hammerschmidt, ex-U of A guy, and it was just a fun environment to play and competitive. And we really good. We had really good DBs and Trevin Wade, Robert Golden, amongst others, and it was just fun to play for each other. We were truly a team. And it was before all the big time portal and NIL stuff, so we really felt like tight knit. Mostly everyone was there through coaching changes, and so it was a real fun team to be on for sure.
Brooks Reed is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Farrier since 1960, here to get you there. So, are there any other Are there any games that you remember that you can point to that really meant something to you in your U of A career?
A bunch. I'd say, even early on, I always loved playing like the big games, like against USC and Oregon, and even those non-conference games, like Iowa and stuff, because I grew up just watching them on TV all the time. When I was a kid, just watching them and Miami on TV all the time was just like, man. And I grew up right next to U of A, so I always wanted to go to U of A. But those playing those teams was just, you wanted to play good in those, especially good in those games, and to put out for the crowd. There's always sellout crowds, and you can have the crowd behind you. There's just no better feeling than getting a sack under a pressure moment, and helping your team get off the field, and celebrating with your teammates.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say Iowa, USC, and from my sophomore year, so from 2008 through, we beat USC in 2009, almost in 2008 when they had that number one defense, and then Iowa in 2010. So those are what stick out in my mind. And then beating BYU, of course, in our first bowl game appearance in 10 years. Wish we would have beaten Bowl Nebraska in the Holiday Bowl, but that wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I was. I hated. I'm gonna say this real quick. Glenn's go down. I hate that you guys didn't win that game. Didn't win that game because I want my Cats to win every game. That's just how I am. But I was on the 12-1 Holiday Bowl team, and if you guys would have won,
that's why I mentioned that. I was like, you guys, got that
team.
One.
But I'm gonna tell you though, y'all had me nervous because I was like, if they win this game, they're gonna be in the discussion of the best team in U of A history.
Yeah.
I know, but Nebraska was, almost trying to get for a BCS game at that point too, and I think they felt slighted. And I remember preparing for a whole other quarterback, and they came out with Martinez or something, and he was like a read zone guy, and we were like, "What the heck is going on?"
Brooks, this is Glenn Howe. How you doing, man?
What's up, Glenn?
All right, man. Hey, I just wanted to give the fans a look. How tall were you? How tall are you now?
6'3".
6'3". Okay, but most of the guys you went against in the NFL, and most of the other guys are like 6'7", 6'8". Guys that you've gone through.
Yeah.
What was your mentality of how you approached those guys when they were so much bigger than you, and how you just kind of basically ate them alive?
I think just using what I have to my advantage over those guys, just speed and hands, and
how
my
important, explain to them how important your technique was. Explain to them how important that was.
Yeah, like my get off, start everything, as a defensive lineman, everything starts with your get off the ball and cueing the ball and knowing kind of like their snap count, little cues and little tips you get throughout the week. And then from there, if you get off the ball good, that offensive lineman's already trying to catch up with you with his feet. So he's already a little off balance trying to catch up with you, and with your hand placement, that's that's two things that he is not going to have over you. So, if you can have those two things, your hand placement and get off, like you're probably going to win the rep, and as long as that quarterback holds on to that ball, it's game over. But, it's, as a D lineman, it's hard to, sacks are hard to come by. You can get a guy perfectly with technique and speed and everything, but that quarterback gets rid of the ball. It's like that. It's never on a stat sheet. It's like they don't say, oh, you totally destroyed a tackle and you're about to sack a quarterback stat. It's like only if he has the ball. So
yeah, and I think when I was playing tight end, is going against a 6 technique or even a wide 9 that was really good and fast and getting off the ball. That was a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I love that, being in the 6 and just viewing the ball. And I got better at that in my career. At the U of A, I was mainly a 9. Stoops was just had us in wide 9s. But, in the league, I was playing more 6 and, under Dan Quinn and with the Falcons. And so I got pretty good at playing a 6 and against those tight ends, and just having my hat and hands inside theirs was, if I didn't do that, I was losing, and I couldn't do that. It was like, no, you have to take pride, like, by not getting beat by a tight end, because I'm used to going up against tackles. So a tight end felt like easy to me compared to a tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes they put like an extra tackle in there as a tight end, in those like short yardage situations. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm about to just, as they say, like, set the grenade off and just dive at their legs.
Yeah, because it's tough for a tight end when you have a quick 6. A quick 6 is just, you got to have if your feet aren't, if you don't make that first step and beat him, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Yeah, 6 is tough. 6 is probably the tough for a DN. I'd say like a 7, which is like an inside eye, is probably a little easier, because you give yourself, a little, like the extra tenth to, if you don't get off the ball, the tight end's really trying to cut you off. You're still a little inside shade on them, so you can, or you could fight them if they're trying to reach you and get in that crease. But yeah.
Brooks, David Kelly here again. You mentioned that game against Iowa, and I like to refer to guys like you as my originals, because I got here in 2008, start covering the team, so you were one of the guys on those teams. But everybody remembers the end of that game. I think you guys sacked Ricky Stanzi 4 plays in a row. I mean, what was that series like when you guys are just going all out and getting to the quarterback every single time?
And they had big tackles.
It was beautiful. It's how every defensive lineman wants to end the game, and you never do. It's like, how is this guy not getting rid of the ball? But the whole crowd just knew it. And everyone's looking at the D line and, oh man, these guys are getting a sack every play. It's just, they can't stop them, And I remember Mike and Mark Stoops had a blitz dialed up that week, and he didn't use it all the way until the end, until that little sack streak came. He saved it all the way until the end.
Wow.
And they were putting the back on me, and they didn't know how to account for this extra person we had going up the middle, and so it was like me on a running back. And then it was just a disaster.
That's over.
That's even better than the tight end.
It was over.
No, I was a running back. That wasn't me.
Oh man, I mean, he gave his best shot, but I mean, I'm like, dude, you're not stopping this momentum. I'm running full speed.
Yes, sir.
And that was one of the best, my best memories from the U of A, from all the games we played. It was such a big game, and we were both ranked.
Yeah, they were number 9. You guys were 24th. Yep.
Yeah, and we had lost the year before that, and that was with Matt Scott the year before that, and then the year after that was Folsey. But yeah, poor Ricky Stanzi, man. I ended up sacking him in the Senior Bowl a couple of months after that.
Nightmares.
He was like, I don't want to see you no more.
You know what I love, and I was going to ask you, I got one more question, but what I love is how he remember all these games.
Yeah,
I mean, I was going to say you were drafted and played in the NFL for a long time. And you were a kid from Tucson. How did that feel representing like that? I mean, because, I'm sure you made a lot of Tucson kids believe that they had a chance to, to move forward. So, tell us a little bit about your NFL career.
For sure. It did mean a lot, and, coming from Tucson, I don't consider Tucson like a huge town, pretty tight knit, and all the kids, that I went to school with, and I just had unbelievable support like throughout my career, and would always come back and help with camps and stuff, and I still do that, and have camps at Sabino, all free and stuff, and it's important, and you have a obligation, responsibility, someone that gets to that level to show these kids that just because they're in a smaller town and not playing the best teams in the country, and they're not 5A and 6A, that you could still play on to the next level, and someone's going to find you. Like, people get paid lots of money to find these athletes, and to find these kids, and that's what someone did for me. So I think for me now it's all about paying it back to the next generation of kids and inspiring some youth, and just being a mentor for kids who need it and seek it, and I always tell kids, come reach me, and if they want to come get some coaching, mentoring, I'm always open. I always leave that line for them, and that's just how I feel about it.
Brooks, we had Marquise Flowers on a couple weeks ago. We asked him
Yeah, that guy too. He was one of the DBs back there. I meant to mention. Marquise Flowers.
What was your Super Bowl week like?
Super Bowl week, yeah. Was he on that?
I think he might have been on that Patriots team. Yeah, I think you guys played.
He was. I don't remember seeing him.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there after. I think I don't remember anything before or after that game. I'll tell you that much. All I remember was pregame, like being on the field, and it was weird because everyone's rushed. They shut down the whole freeway in Houston, and it was kind of ironic because I was drafted to Houston, and I'm used to the 610 freeway around Houston, some of the worst traffic in the world. It just, no one's on it. They have every single entrance blocked, and you're going up there on the bus and everything's quiet. Everyone's got their best songs on their headphones and stuff. And you get off, and everyone you see getting off the bus and on the field, you recognize, like, they're on TV, they're famous, they're actors, they're, everyone on the field is somebody, and you're like, dude, this is a big deal. It's a big game.
This is
big
the game.
Boy. But yeah, everything is just so like scripted. I had so many notebooks of just like notes of players I was going up against and plays and all the details on details that you wouldn't even do for a normal like big in-season game, and you have the extra week to prepare. So it was just a whole nother level of preparation, but everyone knew their role, and I had my chances, and but as a kid I always like envisioned myself like playing in that game and making a huge play, and that was the one thing like that chews me up the most. It's like, man, I never like made that huge like play. Like I got real close, but man, it's just, man, you have only so many opportunities to do that and to make that impact, and that the game is just it's a game of just one or two plays, and everyone's so prepared, and the Super Bowls are usually defensive games, and everyone just knows what every single possible play they could run, and there's an answer for everything. So but it was an experience I'll never forget, and it was unbelievable. And leading up to it, and all the crazy media stuff, and that team we had was so special, and so many good buddies from that team. And it was awesome.
Our thanks to Arizona 2010 defensive end Brooks Reed for joining us this week's in the Captain's Corner. Appreciate you, Brooke.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And that's your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Efon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Acclaimed Drain, Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing your priority.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thama Ogden Nation.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care, a proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
From the shadows of your bathroom comes a villain with 2 pinchers, 1 stinger, and 0 respect for your home.
Scorpions can make your home feel like a scary movie. At Blue Sky Pest Control, we rewrite the script. We keep scorpions out of your home so your story stays drama-free. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, scorpions.
Wildcats Nation, are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him. Get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes throws to the back of the end zone. And it's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats.
Let's go.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, final hour of our pregame show today. We're going to try to beat the book. Arizona is getting 2.5 points in this ball game. Let's check it and see if it has changed since earlier this afternoon. 2.5 was the number. Over under on this one is 47.5 today is a low there, and that's kind of what I thought it was probably going to maybe lend more towards the defenses in this game, so we'll see how that plays out. We'll try to beat the book here momentarily. It's still sitting at 2.5 point favorite for the Utah Utes. Who is going to be that? I'm sorry, for the BYU Cougars. Who's going to be that Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin? Your pest of the game, brought to you by Essential Pest Control. We'll get your keys to the game. We'll still hear from the head coach, DK with BB. My questions to Brent this week. Let's now, though, check what's happening around the rest of the college football world.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right, 2 games are now final, folks. Cincinnati is for real. They win again today, 20-11 at home over Central Florida. Now, Central Florida's in a rebuilding mode, so they're not that good, and they only beat them by 9. But still, Cincinnati is 5-1 and 3-0. They remain undefeated in the Big 12. Oklahoma State loses again, this time at home to Houston. So Houston now 5-1. They are 2-1 in the Big 12. Those are the 2 finals on the board. 2 games in progress right now. Colorado at home leading number 22 Iowa State 14-10. That game just starting the third quarter. Also just starting third quarter, Kansas State at home with a 14-7 advantage over TCU. This is a wide open conference this year, folks. Coming up later tonight at 7:15, it'll be number 21 Arizona State on the road against Utah. Sam Leavitt will not play at quarterback. He is hurt for the Sun Devils. He is expected maybe just to miss this week. Also coming up in about a couple of hours, a little before our start time, number 9 Texas Tech will host Kansas. That is your check of the Big 12 side of things. Top 25, bunch of finals on the board there. Number 1 Ohio State goes on the road and beats Illinois 34-16 in Champaign. Number 24 Ole Miss just gets by Washington State at home 24-21. 8th ranked Alabama gets a win on the road as they come back to beat Missouri 27-24. Number 25 Florida State loses again. They are now 0-3 in the ACC as Pittsburgh gets the win on the road down in Tallahassee 34-31. Last night, number 24 South Florida went on the road and beat North Texas 63-36. I believe, Glenn, you were watching that game last night.
That was a heck of a game. And that place was packed. You know, even though it had 30,000, you know, they sold the thing out. And I said, why can't we sell out? We can't. They get 30. We couldn't even get 30. We need to get that's what we need to do. I'm like, that was a great atmosphere at that game.
Red River rivalry going on midway through the third quarter. Texas, unranked, is leading number 6 Oklahoma 10-6. No other real upsets happening on the top 25 board at the moment, although number 12 Tennessee is tied at home against Arkansas. Bobby Petrino back leading that team, the Razorbacks, on an interim basis. That is your college football scoreboard at the moment.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
On the U of A front, we do want to mention huge win last night for Arizona volleyball, knocking off the Baylor Bears, the number 16 Baylor Bears, by a score of 3-0 over Baylor. They had lost the night before, or 2 nights before, at home to number 24 Colorado. So a huge win for the ladies in that one. I think we've J-Dub, I think I put in there, and I don't think I put it in there on that side, so I think I'll try to play it from this side here if I can get to it. But Jordan Wilson had a huge game for the Wildcats. She had 19 kills in the contest, and she also had 9 digs, so she fell just a little bit short of a triple-double. A double-double. Not a triple-double, but that would have been very nice. But a double-double. Let's hear from Jordan Wilson after the game with the folks over at ESPN+.
And we bring in the dynamic one who brought it all and then some, Jordan Wilson. Jordan, not 1, not 2, not 3. We don't have to go to 4. You guys get it done in 3. Big win. Walk us through it.
You know, we really prepared for this game. We were really focusing on drills, on knowing how to stay cool, calm, and collected, knowing how to capitalize on ending when we hit 20, and also just being consistent throughout, not being a roller coaster. And so that was a really big focus for us this game, and throughout this whole week. So I really think we killed it on that.
And you did that. Let's talk about your performance. 19 kills, 9 digs. You brought the juice in front of a packed house here at the McHale Center.
You know, I was just thinking, have fun. Like, everyone's here to watch. Why not give them something to for them to keep coming here to come watch? So, you know, just leaving all out on the floor, just giving them my all, it just means a whole lot.
How about the first big win against a top 25 opponent and sending a message to all the voters out there that U of A, you've got the skill and you're a force to be reckoned with, not just on the Big 12 stage, but nationally as well?
You know, we have a whole lot to prove. I think we're huge underdogs, and we have to show that we want respect. We want respect from everybody, and so we're going to go out there and give our all so that way they can see what Arizona volleyball is capable of.
All right, ladies needed that win last night. Nice 3-game sweep of the Baylor Bears here at McHale Center. All right, let's find out if we can beat the book tonight.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
BYU, a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Your over-under on it is 47.5. We'll start with Glenn Howe. Glenn, how are you going to take this one tonight?
I'm taking the Cats, man. Ooh. We win by 3. And then it's an over-under?
47.5.
47.5. I'll take the under.
The under.
Yep.
Okay.
Defensive game.
So he's taking U of A and getting the 2.5 points today. I'm going to do the same on that. I'm going to take the Wildcats and the 2.5 points. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to win this game. I just don't think that a freshman quarterback is going to beat this defense. Although it's a very good freshman quarterback, I just think this defense at home has the advantage over BYU. So I'm going to take the Wildcats and the 2.5. I'm also going to take the under. I think this is going to be a defensive game more than an offensive game tonight. Kelvin.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I looked at the Colorado game, 24-21, and I believe that it's going to be something similar to that. So, yeah, I agree with you guys on both levels.
All right, everybody's taking Arizona in the 2.5 and the under. We'll find out after the game if we can beat the book.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
ABC Water and Air, your local comfort experts. Proudly serving Tucson and surrounding areas with HVAC and plumbing services you can trust. Fast, affordable, and reliable. Got a breakdown? They guarantee service within 24 hours. From AC tune-ups to plumbing inspections and duct cleaning, they've got you covered. Ask them about their True Tune-Up Gold Package. It's more than just a checkup. Call 520-812-1597 or visit abcwaterandair.com. ABC Water and Air, always bringing comfort.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Step into a world where rewards never end. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Every moment brings excitement. Every visit unlocks exclusive perks, free play, dining discounts, and more. From high-stakes action to luxurious experiences, your rewards grow with every play. Join today for endless benefits and unforgettable moments. Club Soul. Play more, earn more, experience more. Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
So hot. Hi, can I help you? Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team. But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
From work to errands to family life, your car takes a beating. At Recon Auto Detailing, we don't just protect it, we maintain it.
They installed my ceramic coating in shop, and now their mobile team keeps it looking brand new, right in my driveway.
Ceramic coatings, PPF, tint, all installed professionally at Recon Auto Detailing. And with our mobile detailing, we keep that fresh, protected look mile after mile. One-stop shop, zero hassle. That's Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon.
Motion man LJ. Keeper Bear. Straight ahead. Touchdown! Touchdown Bear Bachmeier and BYU in the closing seconds of the first half. The 5th rushing touchdown of the season for Bear Bachmeier.
About this stat here for Bear Bachmeier. 5 rushing touchdowns, as you heard there on the call by Greg Wrubell, who we had on the show. If you missed our interview, head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com. You can hear our interview with BYU announcer Greg Wrubell. 5 passing touchdowns for Bear Bachmeier. He is the first Big 12 player to do that since in the first 5 games. So 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns in the first 5 games since 2008. The last guy to do it, Baylor's Robert Griffin III. Ooh. So in some pretty fine company there is Bear Bachmeier.
We got to bear down on
we got to bear down on him. Exactly.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Exactly. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Let's hear from Kalani Sitake on Bear Bachmeier. He is just very even-keeled for a freshman.
Well, I wish I could take credit for it, but I think it's a combination of things. I think he's wired that way where if you remember when he first took the field, he doesn't get too up and doesn't ever get too down. I mean, he's very capable of understanding the situation, the mistakes that he made, and what it'll take to correct it. And so that's to have a young man that's a true freshman be that mature is something special. And then you combine that with the mentoring that he's getting from A-Rod and from Matt Mitchell. I mean, he's doing a great job with that. And then you have to give a lot of credit to the quarterbacks that are in that room too. McKay Hillstead's working really well with him, and Trayson Bourget and Emerson Guilman. Those guys are really cool. Cole Hagan, those guys work really well together.
Yeah, again, Bear Bachmeier came in really not expecting to be the starting quarterback because Jake Retzlaff at the time was still there. So he thought he was going to be the backup, but now finds himself as the first true freshman to ever start at quarterback for the BYU program. And this is a program that's put out, has a legion of quarterbacks that they have put out, and many of them have gone on to have a whole lot of success at the next level. Whether he'll be one of those guys in that line still remains to be seen, but the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Brent Brennan, is truly impressed.
The poise that he plays with, you know what I mean? He's very confident out there. And obviously he's a talented player. He can make all the throws he needs to make. And then he's also a really effective runner. He's a big, sturdy, tough kid, right? So you combine that quarterback run game with his ability to accurately deliver the football, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's not playing like a freshman.
For all the questions that you need answered, it's DK with BB. Our David Kelly asked Brent Brennan the questions, and you get the answers. DK with BB is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Need a big play here. Sets up, fires deep downfield, and it's caught at the 25-yard line down to the 20. 15, 10, 5. It'll be first and goal, Arizona. What an amazing catch by Trey Spivey, who's having an amazing day.
That's Trey Big Play Spivey right now, because that's all he's doing is making big plays all up and down the field there.
Yeah, that was one of those passes, just maybe not right on the receiver, but out in front of him, and you allowed your receiver to make a great catch and then get some yards after catch right there for Trey Spivey and Noah Fafita. My questions this week to the head coach. He starts off talking about the wide receivers doing a great job of catching the ball in that win against Oklahoma State.
I thought they did a great job of that. I thought they did a good job of finishing. I think that's one of those things as an old receiver guy. That's one of those deals that if you talk about it too much, it becomes a bigger issue than it really is. Most of the time, that comes from just being inconsistent with your hands and eyes, trying to run before you catch it, your hands, getting behind your eyes, not just like really simple detail of catching the football. But I thought they did a great job of it, and I've told you guys many times, I have a super high level of belief in Coach Bobby Wade and his ability to coach and teach and motivate that group, and I think we're going to continue to see good plays from them.
Trey Spivey has become a red zone target for Noah. As you evaluate him, what makes him the type of receiver that a quarterback can be comfortable with inside the 20 when you need to try to get points?
I think what showed up on Saturday is just how competitive Trey Spivey is. You know what I mean? The 2 plays that he made where he was, breaking the tackle and running through contact, I thought that I was just really, really excited for Trey and really impressed with it. But he is a big body. And so you like that in the red zone, because a lot of those plays in the red zone are, you normally catch the ball and contact is imminent. And so his ability to play the ball strong and get the ball in his body and finish down there has shown up, and we're excited about that.
Coach, this was the first game you really had a full, healthy stable of running backs, and you were able to use them all. How did you feel about the way that rotation went and then the results that you got from them?
I feel good about the rotation. I think we want to run the ball better. I think Oklahoma State did a good job of loading up the box, and obviously that's something that we're going to have to be ready for this weekend, right? We have a top 8 defense in the country coming in here. They're extremely well coached. They have good players. They know their system. They believe in it, and they're multiple. They're able to be multiple in it, but they play incredibly physical football. So that's something that we got to get ready for this week.
Brent, I asked you about fourth down last week, so I'll do it again this week. First drive, 4th and 3 at the goal line. You decided to go for it, get a touchdown. Second half, early 4th and 3 midfield, you punted. What went into those two decisions there?
Just the flow of the game. The flow of the game. Last week your question caught me off guard because it was just, we were on the minus, 29 or wherever we were. The midfield one was more of a, like, we're playing great on defense. Let's pin them inside the 10 and let's go play defense and see if we can't get better field position and come back and play it. That was the second one. The first one, it was early in the game, and I was like, let's go for it. Let's go score. We had such an emphasis all week on starting fast, and I thought we did that. And then obviously Noah makes a perfect throw, and Trey, breaks a tackle and knifes it in the end zone for a big touchdown to start it, so that was great.
Coach, in terms of, your red zone defense, and obviously you guys have not allowed a touchdown pass yet this season.
Thanks for the jinx.
I'm sorry. But what's been the most consistent thing for why this defense has been so good against the pass in the red zone?
I think our defense has really been living the red line. And I know you hear me talk about that a lot, and you're probably tired of it, but I'm going to keep talking about it because that's what it is. It's effort, it's execution, and it's accountability. And that's what those kids on defense have been doing all season, right? Playing with really, really high-level effort and high-level execution in that part of the field leads to good results. And so I think that's one of those things that, I really believe in Coach G. I think he's done a great job. The defensive staff has done a great job. I think the team as a whole really has a clear understanding of what red line is, what it looks like, how it should look. And the more that we can lean into that and the more we continue to play with that kind of mindset, I think the better we're going to play.
Brent, obviously you spent a lot of years in Oregon where it does rain quite a bit. What have you learned about preparing a team, though, for the environment they might face Saturday?
The Wildcats are like the mailman, right? We got to go to work. Rain, sleet, snow, doesn't matter. We got to show up and get after it. I think the biggest thing about playing in weather is not let weather be a factor. To me, it's about a mentality. It's about your process. It's about how you go into the game thinking about it. And so, spending 6 years at Oregon State, playing, practicing in the rain all the time, all that stuff, it really didn't change the way we played. We still threw the ball, we threw it all over the yard. We still made catches. We still made tackles. We still had ball security. So I think we still covered people. So football is football. And that's the beautiful thing about football. Like I mentioned earlier, the mailman, my mailman reference, but that's the beautiful thing about football is, nothing stops football. Nothing stops game day except for lightning. You know what I mean? And right now it doesn't look like lightning is in the forecast. You never know. It's an exciting time in Tucson, but
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with BB is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, that is my questions of the week with the head coach. Guys, one thing I wanted to ask them about the running back. Last week, obviously, we saw all three running backs were healthy for the first time this season, and it was interesting just kind of how the snaps, they had 80 offensive plays, and it was actually pretty even. Ishmael Mahdi had 26 of the 80 plays. Kedrick Reesano had 22. Quincy Craig had 21. And then Wesley Yarbrough got in there at the end, and he got 11 plays. How'd you guys feel just about the way that the running back distribution was last week?
I want to know if are they going to redshirt Yarbrough? Because
doesn't it? Well, I have to see exactly how many games, because I think he still has games to play. I don't think he's played in every game, but yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, because
I don't. It does not appear that they're doing that.
Yeah, because I'd really like to preserve a year for that guy because that guy, he's a beast. I like the way he runs. And, it's just that they got to spread that love around. I think it's good to do it. But if somebody gets hot, feed them like a baby. That's what I think.
Yeah, I kind of, in this time and age, this day and age of football, when you're really running the ball, you got to have 2 or 3 guys. My only problem is I don't know how much we actually really run the ball. So, you kind of want a guy to at least get in rhythm and then have a guy that can bag him up. So I would like to see Ishmael with a few more carries personally because he just seems like he's real dynamic and he makes things happen.
According to J.W. Madden, he has played in 3 games this season, so he has at least 1 more game left that he could play in.
No ratio.
Before they have to make that decision. But according to Brent, if you can help us, you're going to play. So
he's playing. He's the big back.
Yeah.
He's the big back. He's the power guy. He's a young guy right now, and right now you haven't really needed, or they haven't been in many situations where short yardage was needed. Right now, I think Noah's been that guy right now. But with that being said, I do think that there's going to become a point where you're going to need a bigger back to help in pass protection and to get some of those short yardage plays done.
Going to be interesting, though. Obviously, no, we haven't discussed this really on this show, but we talked about it earlier in the week. No Kean Burnett anymore at that tight end position, so you've lost some numbers there with the injury to Tyler Powell as well. So maybe potentially we see we saw a little bit last year when we had some injuries at tight end. We got to see our guy Caden Luke out of CDO. Perhaps maybe we get to see a little bit more Caden Luke now in some sets when they need that extra blocker in there with no Kean.
I just can't believe that they can't find some way to use him. It's just amazing because I think that he can do a lot of things. He can lead block. He can run the ball. He can. I think they put too much weight on him. I mean, he's like he's 253 now. I talked to him the other day. He's 253. I was like, wow. I said, if you slim him down, he could be a scatterboo. I'm telling you. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got everything. It's just that
the problem is though
that we got so many backs.
Well, and in this offense, you really don't.
You
can't use it.
I know.
Right.
I know.
Right. So yeah,
they got to find a way. That's what I'm saying. You got to look at your personnel, and you can't always. You're not always going to get what you want. The scheme that you like to run, you got to fit those pieces, and then if you have good pieces that are not being utilized, you have to try to fit them in somewhere.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. All right, who's going to be that BYU Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight?
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
Well, I can tell you who it might not be, and that's going to be Cousin Jack Kelly. He is listed as questionable. We'll get another injury report here coming up at the bottom of this hour at 3:30. It'll be 90 minutes before kickoff, so right after our show ends. He is by far one of their best defensive players, so that's a guy that they could potentially be without tonight. He probably would have been my choice just because his last name is Kelly, but I'll go with someone else. First, we'll hear who's Glenn Howell's going with, though.
I got to go with the Bear. The Bear is really
the Bear.
The Bear's been just creating havoc on teams the last 4 or 5 games. We just got to be able to handle him. And if we get a shot, if he wants to run, man, you got to run at your own risk, man. I mean, they got to lay some hat on him. Ooh, yeah. They got to run at your own risk.
Hey, and they better remember, he's 220.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He's like 6'2", so it's like a little running back.
And sometimes when you're 6'2", 220, you think that you can run, but when you can't see, because as well as we swarm on this defense, that could be a problem for him.
I'm going to go with Isaiah Glasker, the other linebacker on this team. He really was a thorn in our side last year. Had a couple of tackles for loss in that game, which they won 41-19 in Provo. and he's their second best defender out there behind Jack Kelly. So I'll go with Isaiah Glasgow as my pest on defense because I think, as I said earlier, this is going to be a defensive game today.
Well, I hear, with the weather coming in, you got to run the ball. I also hear, people concentrating on Bear, but you have to worry about the running back, L.J. Martin. He already has 490 yards on only 76 carries. So he's averaging about 6.4 yards a carry. To me, the big guy, and from El Paso, he got out of UTEP.
Yeah, right.
So to be able to have a big kid like that with the weather coming in like it is, it'd be a little slippery. I think he'll be a tough guy to tackle. So it's a guy we got to watch out for.
All right, L.J. Martin, Bear Bachmeier, and Isaiah Glasgow, the three guys who most likely will get underneath Arizona's skin if BYU is winning in Tucson tonight.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
Every day is a balancing act. With work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
We are Casino del Sol. We are more than a casino. We are the moment, the energy, the escape. We are exquisite in every detail, unique in every experience, and unforgettable in every way. From thrilling games to world-class dining, electric nights to luxurious stays. We are fun, bold, extraordinary, and we are entirely original. We are the place you never want to leave. We are Casino del Sol. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway and discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Spooky noises coming from your air conditioning system? Then treat yourself to the Right Way $59 Super Tune-Up and shake off the cobwebs from your AC. It's a 42-point inspection designed to maximize your AC unit's efficiency and lifespan with the most comprehensive tune-up in the industry. We'll even remove any built-up dirt, grime, and dust, and do a free carbon monoxide test. Just call Right Way, Southern Arizona's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical company today at 520-640-HOME. Right Way's $59 Super Tune-Up, a scary good deal.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon.
Could be a double throw. There's the first, and here's the second, and Martin makes the catch for the touchdown! Parker Kingston throws to L.J. Martin on the double throw, and the Cougs take the lead, 13-7.
Yeah, Parker Kingston, he was a quarterback in high school, and he hit the Wildcats last year on that trick play. He's actually done that twice in his college career. He has thrown for a touchdown pass. This is a defense, however, in Arizona that is the lone last in FBS that has not allowed a touchdown pass against them this season. However, Chase Roberts, who had a big game at wide receiver last week against West Virginia, feels like that streak will end today.
Yeah, they're a great defense. I'm just excited to finally get them their first passing touchdown they're going to have on them. But just to play our game, do what we do, and I think we'll like the results as we just play BYU football and run the ball, pass the ball, and have fun.
Yeah, a lot of confidence.
Yeah, a lot of confidence.
Their program.
I hope they're playing that in the meetings, the team meetings.
Right.
You know, and I know Danny Gonzalez is getting them lit up.
What about the seal slide?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seal slide, he make a play. Man.
You know?
Hey, they having fun. They loose.
Yep.
They having fun. They loose, so let's get it.
Let's get it on.
Well, let's hear from Max Harris, linebacker, who obviously talks about the fact that this defense has not allowed a touchdown pass yet this season.
I'm not too surprised. You know, I have so much faith in our secondary, Dawn, Jen, Stooks, AG, everybody. Like, I'm not too surprised with it, and I'm glad that, you know, every game they're focused on it. You know, big plays may happen, but the main thing is keeping them out of the end zone. And so I'm glad that our secondary can do that. Take a lot of pride in that.
This is the third game this year in which the defense has not allowed a touchdown. What do you make of any kind? What do you make of that accomplishment and just how the defense is playing overall?
It goes back to our mantra, you know, keeping them out of the end zone is is the very last line. So keeping them out of the end zone is the most important thing. I take a lot of pride in that. You know, it's everybody know what to do and how to do it. All 11 to the ball in the bad humor and keeping them out of the end zone. So. Just every day we say that before our meeting, and every day we practice that, and every game we try to execute that.
I love that. All 11 to the ball with bad humor. And this is a BYU team that turned the ball over last week. So, again, they've had some ball security issues, which against this defense could be their undoing in a close game here in Tucson.
Yeah, and I like the defense. They say they run around with bad intentions. You know, that's what they want. That's what they're creating. And I go back to, you know, what they're trying to do is if you take a picture with the ball, there should be at least 4 or 5 hats around it. You know, and sometimes there's 5, 6, 7 hats on the ball, and that's what they're doing. And they're all believing. The thing that I like is that they're all saying the same thing. They're not
speaking the same language.
Yeah, same language. Same language. So they know exactly what their goal is, and they want to be physical. They're all talking about being physical.
All right, let's find out what
no
the
calls on that, please. Don't call and say you shouldn't be violent.
Let's find out what the Wildcats need to do to win this game tonight.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
Well, guys, I'm going to harp on something I harped on last week, and that's it's special teams, but it's making sure that you're not losing yardage in special teams. We need to make sure that there are no negative plays in terms of the punt return. Positive yards there. Luke Weissong came in and did a great job with that last week, so I want to see the continuation of positive yards. But I also want to see that from our punters. I want them. They need to be able to down balls when they have those opportunities. I thought we missed out on an opportunity last week when we were punting from midfield and couldn't get that ball downed inside the 10-yard line. That's crucial yardage lost in games. You have to be able to pin teams. I think if you can pin teams, we've seen it. If you give this defense a team inside their 10-yard line, good things are going to happen with Danny Gonzalez and company. So I think the punters are important there. I want to see more balls downed inside the 20-yard line for this special teams in terms of that respect as well. And I thought it was interesting last week, and Brent talked about this in his press conference today, or earlier this week, was that it's a game-by-game, I guess, decision on whether or not they're going to fair catch kicks. Mm-hmm. Some weeks they'll do that. Some weeks they won't do that. I'd like to see more returns there if you have those opportunities versus fair catches, because I think you've got a guy, I mean, whether that's going to be Ishmael Mahdi back there, I think you've got an opportunity to have a guy back there who could break one, and that's how you win big games. You win big games, I think, on returns. You can look at the history of this program. All the big wins, there's probably a punt return or a kick return or an interception return or something of that nature in those games. So I'd like to see them being more aggressive in returning kicks as well. And I think as long as Noah takes care of the football in this game tonight, I think the Wildcats are going to be okay. I can't turn it over. You lose the turnover battle, and you're probably going to lose to this team.
Yeah, I think that, what we have to have, I don't want to see Noah throwing the ball over 30 times tonight. I like to see him
51 times last year.
Yeah. I like to see him throw it no more than 30 times. If we can get there to 30 times, that means that we're running the ball. That means that we're moving the ball, taking control of the game. Let's establish the run. And then we just got to be, when we do pass, we got to be accurate on the passes. Then on the defensive side of the ball, I think that we really need to stop their run, make sure that they cannot run, and we got to get turnovers. We got to get turnovers. They're prone to turnovers. We got to be able to rally to the ball and get some turnovers. Special teams, we got to have a flawless. We got to have a game that we have every single phase of the game. Special teams, defense, and we haven't had that game yet. We haven't had that game yet. So this is the game to start that streak, is having all three phases of the game. That means kicking field goals, don't miss any field goals, and also punting the ball when we have a chance to pin them down inside and make them drive the field. Let's play some field position with these guys. Let's do that, because then that puts more pressure on Bear.
I think Glenn covered it. What I have here is that we have to protect the football. We have to win the turnover battle. Little rain. Also, teams like this love to come in and script the ball. They try to take advantage of that. Also, I believe that the defense has to play well. They have to tackle. And I also think the DBs have to watch out for the big play, the big ball. This is the type of team that'll try for those type of plays. And then I said, watch out for trick plays as well, especially on offense,
double pass,
and on special teams. I don't know what it is about BYU. I just think they like to have fun, but they always have it somewhere in their bags. And I truly believe that to win this game is going to be a 4-quarter game. You have to battle these guys for four quarters and love the physicality of it.
Yep.
All right, that's what we think the Wildcats need to do to win today against Brigham Young University.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, let's hear from Kalani Sitake, who is a huge fan. Kalani Fafita Sitake is a huge fan of Noah Fafita, the quarterback for U of A.
He could always throw the ball. He's been doing that since he was little. So, his ability to throw the ball and have the vision, with given time, that guy can do a lot of damage. And so it's trying to find a way to disrupt it. But even when you do that and you bring more under pressure, he knows where to go with the ball. And so as long as it's like Arizona doing what they're doing, it doesn't surprise me at all. I know it surprises some other people, but I know Brennan. I know what he's like as a coach. I know what he's like as a culture, with his culture, and he can build that team. I see the way his team reacts to him and responds to him, specifically the quarterback, and I see the trust, the autonomy that he gives the quarterback on their team. So I've been really impressed with him, seeing him in the media, and when we did our Big 12 media days, seeing him and the man that he has with the program and the leaders and how they respond to him, that's really impressive. And he's a great player, but I know he's a great young man, and that's the kind of guy that everybody should cheer for. And then you surround him with playmakers like they have on offense. I think he can be very dangerous. So we know this is going to be a tough task. And then they have a really good thing going right now in their program, and that's what happens when you let a culture builder give him time to do that. Great things can happen. So I mean, I'm biased because he's a good friend of mine and I love him, but Brandon can do things like that, and look what's happening with his defense, offense, and special teams. They're playing at a high level right now, and we need to be at our A game when we get down there to Tucson this weekend.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity for this program to come away with a real big win, and not just that, but to beat a second team this season that beat you up pretty good last season, to kind of let folks know, hey, this is not the team from last year. This is a much different team. You win today, and you're 5-1 heading down to Houston next weekend with a chance to be feeling really good heading into the bye week here coming up in a few weeks. Guys, final thoughts before we send it over to the network.
I just think that the weather's. Don't forget about the weather. Let's just play football.
Yeah.
We got to be able to run the football. Ball security is going to be very important today, and just make big plays. Have fun. The guys have fun because you have an opportunity to go against another nationally ranked team, and you guys that were on that team last year, they beat you up. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, and all I would say is, hey guys, we're 4-1, right? We win this game, we're 5-1, and we'll be ranked next week.
Yep.
Period.
Ooh. Yep.
Ooh.
Period.
Ooh. All right. There you go. Calling out the rankings is Kelvin Efon. I'd like to thank J.W. Madden for spinning the dials on this one. Toby Bourget for joining us, as well as Brooks Reed on the captain's corner. And we had Doug Fath there with Glenn Howe in the huddle. My name is David Kelly for J.W. Madden, for Glenn Howe, for Kelvin Efon. Thank you very much for listening. Coming up next, it is the Arizona Sports Enterprises Countdown to Kickoff show with Kyle Quinn and Brody Dryden. We'll be back after the game, after Arizona and number 18, BYU, kickoff at 5 o'clock. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Hello, everybody.
Gary, why are you wearing a...
Hold on, Ron.
Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that?
Yeah, but...
And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications.
Yeah, but...
Then Gary says something ridiculous.
Yeah, but...
And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather.
Yeah, but...
And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns.
Yeah, but...
And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing.
Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking.
Look who's wearing it.
I choose to ignore that remark.
Because you know another one is coming.
Take off that stupid ski mask.
See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today.
What did we accomplish here?
I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at alaskanac.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1980.